Prabhupada spreading Krishna consciousness around the world. We'll be very, very happy to hear from Holy Spirit Maharaj.
Maharaj can be there.
Huh?
Are you going to sit here or there is no complaint? Okay.
You can stay.
You can stay.
Stay. Yeah.
Stay. What happened to it? Special. Yes, the Prabhupada installation. So, today we install the Prabhupada and new better knowledge. That is why we have desired to take up the Prabhupada deciding to speak for the Prabhupada. So, we are very fortunate that we heard from the Krishna Prabhu. Now, we will do this revision us. We both are very excited to the Prabhupada. Very fortunate. So, now, small boy that we will do Prasad. We are just coming in the front to the and let's hear from Maharaj. We won't get this chance again and again with the rare opportunity. The sacred advantage. Let's welcome Maharaj to Shanti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Don't worry, the other to start the record, so I'm going to class. And also, like, welcome to say Krishna and it's today Bhaktivedanta Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Now the devotees are
Or the content. So what did you say about prasad?
I said we have enough prasad, so no need to worry. We can go for 1 hour, Maharaj. We can have the class for 1 hour.
Okay. And what I was thinking is let the devotees ask questions or request me to speak on subjects. So if we have a microphone that can move around.
Yes, we have this.
And then usually I begin by singing the Mangala China prayers and reading the short kirtan.
Please do that, Maharaj. Yes. You need a fan?
No.
Please start. Kartal.
Hare Krishna, my dear devotees. Thank you for joining us on this auspicious occasion. I will begin by singing the Mangalacharana prayers and reading a short kirtan. And then I will speak about Srila Prabhupada. But I would like to speak about what you want to hear about Srila Prabhupada. So after the kirtan, we'll ask you to raise your hands and you can say what you would like to hear about Srila Prabhupada, topic or theme or incident or experience. Vaishnava Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Shivasade Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Srila Gurudeva. Jaya Vishnupada Hansa Prajakacharya Stokas Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Jai Jaya Vishnupada Hansa Prajakacharya Stokas Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Jai Amacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Jai Friends say Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Bhakti Radha Shivasa Gaura Bhakti Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shyamkunda Radha Kundi Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Manga Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Sadhveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Bhagavatam. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, if any of you have any questions or requests for me to speak about something in particular, please, the microphone.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, you all know that making Mumbai temple was one of the difficult most projects. So we want to understand in the spiritual times how did you manage? Like what was your consciousness and how the project worked out? It was so difficult.
Thank you. Well, I'll start at the beginning. Before Srila Prabhupada went to America, he would visit Srimati Sumati Morarji at her bungalow on Juhu Beach. And on his way to meet her, he would pass the same land that eventually became Hare Krishna land. And he would think this would be a nice place to build a temple of Krishna. Then, many years later, after Srila Prabhupada went to America in 1965, he had the thought to return to India. And one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada that your Guru Maharaj ordered you to preach in the West. So why are you going back to India? And Srila Prabhupada replied, I've already done that, meaning preached in the West, and I want to revive the spiritual culture of India. So in October of 1970, Srila Prabhupada was traveling in India to different places. And in fact, the subject of my next book, which I've already written, but it's going through the editing process, covers traveling with Srila Prabhupada in India. So we arrived in Bombay, but soon thereafter, Srila Prabhupada was invited by an old friend of his named Hari Krishna Das Agarwal to go to Amritsar for a Vedanta Sammelan. So we went to Amritsar, and then from there we took a train to Bombay. The train halted in Delhi, and in Delhi, a gentleman who had been corresponding with Srila Prabhupada met Srila Prabhupada at the train station and asked him to lead some devotees in Delhi to begin our activities there. So Srila Prabhupada put together a small team, Guru Das, Yamuna, Gopal, Bruce, who later became Banu Das and then Banu Swami, and myself. So we stayed in Delhi for some time, and during that period there was a lot of false propaganda against us, that we are CIA, and Srila Prabhupada wanted us to get our picture taken with Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. So he thought if we had that picture, it would, quash the rumors about us. And we did. We arranged to have a meeting with Prime Minister Gandhi, and we had our picture taken with her. Then there was a program in Indore for Gita Jayanti. Then in Surat, fantastic reception by the people of Surat. Then Srila Prabhupada stopped over in Bombay for a few days. Then he went to Allahabad for the Ardha Kumbh Mela, and then to Gorakhpur, where we stayed at Sri Krishna Niketan, which had been the personal estate of Hanuman Prasad Podar, the head of the Gita Press. And one day was the appearance day of his Guru Maharaj, and so we had a small ceremony at midday. But Srila Prabhupada said that we should have a big program in the evening and invite all the people from Gita Press. So we did, and then after the program, there was a feast served downstairs on the sort of veranda, and during the feast, Srila Prabhupada's servant, Nanda Kumar Das, came down with two messages from Srila Prabhupada. First, Srila Prabhupada said, my Guru Maharaj is very pleased with all of you. And second, Srila Prabhupada said, the feast was so good, I could not control my senses. And many things happened in Gorakhpur. It was there that Srila Prabhupada introduced the bhajan Jai Radha Madhava. And many things happened. And then I went, well, we had the second, we had the Delhi Pandal, and after the Delhi Pandal, Srila Prabhupada was going to Vrindavan. And all the devotees were looking forward to going to Vrindavan with Srila Prabhupada for the first time. But Srila Prabhupada had received an invitation to go to Madras. And he wanted some devotees to go to Madras. So from early on, I was convinced that the secret of success in spiritual life is to serve the instructions of the spiritual master and please him. So I offered to go. And Srila Prabhupada said, don't you want to go to Vrindavan? And I said, well, I feel that wherever he is serving you, that is Vrindavan. And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, my Guru Maharaj also had the same idea. So a small group of us went to Madras. And then after Madras was the first Gaur Purnima festival. And in Mayapur, I met Srila Prabhupada in his, I guess you could say Bhajan Kuti. He had a thatched hut, which is still there in Mayapur towards the entrance to the property. And he said to me that during the British rule, there were three provinces: Bombay, Calcutta, and Madras. So which do you want? I said, Srila Prabhupada, I'll go wherever you want me to go, and I'll do whatever you want me to do. And Srila Prabhupada said, no, I want you to decide. So I reflected on Srila Prabhupada's instruction. Yes, and I asked him, can I have some time to think about it? And he said yes. But I was reflecting on something that Srila Prabhupada had said, that a third-class disciple will receive the instruction from the spiritual master and begrudge it. Or as one Srila Prabhupada said, to receive an instruction from the spiritual master, and then after leaving the room, you'll think, now what was it that Guru Maharaj wanted me to do? That's third class. Second class receives an instruction from the spiritual master and executes it perfectly. And first class knows what the spiritual master wants and does it even without being told by the spiritual master. So when Srila Prabhupada told me that he wanted me to decide, I thought, well, maybe he's trying to make me a first class disciple who knows what the spiritual master wants to do without being told. From Mayapur, we went to Calcutta, and I was, I would chant my rounds in front of the deities and pray for guidance, but I was not getting an answer. So one day, I decided to try to trick Srila Prabhupada into revealing where he wanted me to go. So I went into his room and I said, Srila Prabhupada, I was thinking of going back to Madras, and then I gave the reasons why I should go back to Madras. And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, you can do. And I said, but then again, Srila Prabhupada, I was thinking of staying in Calcutta. And then I gave the reasons why I should stay in Calcutta. And with the exact same tone of voice and facial expression, Srila Prabhupada said, yes, you do. So by then, I got the idea that I was not going to be successful in tricking Srila Prabhupada into revealing where he wanted me to go. But I was already invested into this strategy. So I played it out to the end, and I said, but then again, I was thinking of going to Bombay, and I gave the reasons why. And again, the same tone of voice, the same facial expression. Yes, you can do. So I actually felt exhilarated that my spiritual master was so intelligent that he couldn't be tricked by a foolish disciple. So I went back to my chanting and praying, and in the meantime, Srila Prabhupada went to Bombay. And one day I got an insight, you could say, that I should go to Bombay because our most important program in India then was life membership. In fact, Srila Prabhupada said, if you just get life members a day from all over India, if you just get me 3 life members a day, I will do everything else. So life membership was the most important program. It had many aspects to it. Part of it, as Srila Prabhupada said, was as a means to distribute his books. And I saw that if we took good care of the life members, they themselves would make other people life members. But if we didn't take good care of them, even if we ourselves went to make someone a life member, they might not become because they would have heard that we don't keep our promises. And then I reasoned that Bombay is the head office. So I wrote Srila Prabhupada that I Yeah. And I should come, I think I should come to Bombay and take over the blood membership program. And Srila Prabhupada replied, yes, come to Bombay immediately. So I went to Bombay, and when I arrived, I went straight to one Mr. Acharya. He had so the front of Hare Krishna land was vacant, and at the back there were 6 apartment buildings, 2-story apartment buildings. And Srila Prabhupada was staying on the ground floor of one of the apartment buildings, which was occupied by one Mr. Acharya. And when Srila Prabhupada entered that place, he commented that I'm taking shelter of the Acharyas. So Srila Prabhupada greeted me, and then he took me around the property. He was very enthusiastic. He was pointing out all the coconut trees and what a good location it was near Juhu Beach. And yeah, he was very, very enthusiastic. So then, a couple of days later, he called a meeting of the devotees to discuss who would take charge of the project. So the devotees went into Srila Prabhupada's room, and the atmosphere was quite tense. And then suddenly Srila Prabhupada said to me, so Giriraj, you will take charge. And my mind rebelled against the idea. I mean, that was not my idea. In coming to Bombay, I just wanted to look after the life membership program. But I knew that the secret to success in spiritual life is to serve the instructions of the spiritual master and please him. So I said, oh, Srila Prabhupada, if that's what you want me to do, I will do it. And then, a little later, he said, so now the whole responsibility is on you. And I thought, how could Srila Prabhupada say that? He must know how difficult this is. And then he's like rubbing it in. I mean, it was my mind by saying now the whole responsibility is on you. But anyway, I had heard and I believe that when the spiritual master gives an instruction, he also gives the potency to execute it. So, yeah, I ended up in Bombay, and the owner of the land, Mr. A.D. Nair, was a demon. Once I gave a class in Los Angeles in which I mean, it was related to the verse, which was about Hiranyaksha, was the original demon. And in that context, I told the story of the Juhu land. And I mentioned that Mr. Nair was a demon. And afterwards, His Grace Virabahu Prabhu said that he usually doesn't like it when devotees refer to people as demons, but I actually have to agree that Mr. Nair was a demon, and so were many of his accomplices. So, yeah, he tried. He here, he has so many details, which you can read about in my book, A Building Temple, the Jewish story. But, yeah, he had cheated someone else before, taking money for the same land, and then canceling the agreement on some pretext. And then he did the same thing with us. So, yeah, there were many obstacles, but I had faith in Srila Prabhupada. Some disciples didn't like the Jew land. They thought it was too far from the city and too far away from most of our like members and big supporters. But I had faith in Srila Prabhupada's vision. And at one stage, Srila Prabhupada said, Neeraj is the only one who has understood my plan for the Juhu land. And so the first challenge was to get the property signed over. And after a long battle, eventually it was happening. And the registrar from Bombay came to Juhu, so Srila Prabhupada didn't have to go to the city. And yeah, it was a very momentous occasion. And Mrs. Nair signed over the property. And then Srila Prabhupada had the devotees serve a feast. And then after the feast, Srila Prabhupada retired back into his room. And he said, it was a good fight. Someone should write a book about it. And then later, in 1977, in Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada was recalling the struggle in Juhu. And again he said someone should write a book about it. It's worth writing. It is history. So earlier, Srila Prabhupada had instructed me to write, and he had repeated that instruction many times over the years. And he wanted someone to write the history of the Juhu story. And I was the only devotee to be involved in the project, intimately involved in the project from the beginning to the end. So I took up that assignment, and the result is that book, The Juhu Story of Juhu. But yeah, what I guess you could say what motivated me was, yeah, my faith in Srila Prabhupada. And yeah, and what sort of kept me steady or focused was my japa. My morning japa was a very important part of my day's activities. And so making the effort to chant sincere japa in the morning was instrumental in keeping me focused and steady in my purpose there. Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question or if you would like some more elaboration on some point. Can we give her a microphone?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, it's a good question. Any other questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna. That's how you got so much of faith in Prabhupada. What made you to have so much strong faith in Prabhupada?
I attribute my faith in Srila Prabhupada to Srila Prabhupada's mercy. When I was in high school, I had the desire to attain perfect happiness, but I understood that I could not attain perfect happiness materially, but only spiritually. And then I understood that I could only progress spiritually if I had a guru. And then my quest became to find my guru. And after meeting many so-called swamis and gurus and being disappointed by all of them and almost giving up hope, I met Srila Prabhupada. And from the first meeting, I was convinced that he was my perfect master. The first time I went to the temple, after his talk, he asked for questions. And I asked the question that was burning in my heart, which was, there's so many different swamis and gurus, and each recommends a different process of realization, and each says that this is the best. So how do I know which is actually the best? And Srila Prabhupada answered very intelligently by asking me, what is your goal? Because I was asking what is the best means, but the best means to what end? Depending on what the end is, different means might be more suitable. He said, do you want to serve God or do you want to become God? If you want to become God, it means that you're not God now. And how can not God become God? Krishna is always God. He doesn't have to become God by yoga or meditation. He's always God. He's God when he's playing on the lap of Mother Yashoda. He's God when he's speaking the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. He's always God. And if you sow the seed of service to God and water it by chanting, then God will provide the sunlight and all the other favorable conditions to make it grow. But if you want to become God, you're only cheating yourself. Because why should God help the competition? He said you can become godly, but you cannot become God. I got the distinct impression that Srila Prabhupada was seeing straight through me, through the walls of the temple, ultimately into my apartment, into my bathroom, where I had inscribed in colorful, ornate lettering a sign, which I put on the wall, that said, "You are God." So, Srila Prabhupada said, so what do you think? You want to serve God or you want to become God? So by then I understood I couldn't become God. So I said I wanted to serve God, but I knew I couldn't cheat Srila Prabhupada, so I said, but I realized, yes, I wanted to become God. And Srila Prabhupada said yes. And then I knew I had met my perfect master, and I bowed down my head and surrendered, and I kept my head down for a long time, partly in surrender, largely in surrender, but I was also afraid to look up because I thought everyone in the room would be glaring at me that he wanted to become God, he wanted to become God. So I kept my head down for quite a while. But then I heard sounds that indicated that food was being served. So I thought, okay, this is probably a good time to come up. And I looked, nobody was glaring at me, everyone was smiling and happy. And I was given this plate of prasad. It's so colorful with so many different textures. And I think the first item I tried was a cauliflower pakora. And when I bit into it, there was such an explosion of taste in my mouth, like nothing I had ever tasted before. And all the items were like that. It's a different level of experience. So then I was convinced everything was perfect. The guru was perfect. The philosophy was perfect. The process of chanting was perfect. The food was perfect. Everything about Krishna consciousness is perfect. So then, maybe 2 weeks later, the devotees told me that Srila Prabhupada was leaving. And I was shocked. I didn't know that he would leave Boston. He was there, and I just assumed that he would stay there. The devotees asked if I wanted to come to the airport to see him off. I said yes. So we went to the airport, and many of the devotees were crying. And I asked one of the devotees, Arundhati, and she said that Srila Prabhupada said that on that absolute platform, meeting and separation are the same. And it sounded like a good answer, but I wasn't sure how practical it was. But then, maybe 2 weeks later, we were doing Harinam Sankirtan outside the Kapli Square subway station, and I just felt Srila Prabhupada's presence descend upon me. And then I thought that what she said was true, that even in separation there can be meaning. And so during Srila Prabhupada's presence, I considered my main service was to bring people to him. And then after he left, I wondered what will be my service now. But then I came to understand that Srila Prabhupada is always present, and that even in his physical absence, we can bring people to him. They can read his books, they can apply his instructions in their lives, they can serve his mission and get his mercy. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
So most of the time, when we under your education, we felt that we make our part. So when we go out of this place, completely we are in the Maya, in the air of mind. So sometimes it is very difficult to come out from this Maya. And how which is again a lot of difficulties of the world. So everything is loaded, and all this loading. So how do we decide our limits and really that we can do something for our
Well, Srila Prabhupada said 90% of Krishna consciousness is association. So if you keep it in good association, then you'll be able to remain steady and make progress in Krishna consciousness. Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu has enumerated 64 items of devotional service, and of the 64, he says that 5 are most potent. Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtana, Bhagavat Shravana, Mathura Vas, and Murti Sharanvika Sevana. So one of those is Sadhu Sangha, and Rupa Goswami gives a precise definition of Sadhu Sangha. Of course, in general terms, it means association with devotees, but his exact definition is Swajati Ashaya Snigde Sadhu Sangha Swatovare. So Swajatiya means, in the literal sense, you can say in the same community, and for us that would mean following the Srila Prabhupada. Swajati Ashaye Snigde. Now, snigdha means affection, and in Srila Prabhupada's translation of the verse, he says, you know, who has a similar affection for the Lord. But snigdha can also mean that the sadhu should be affectionate to you, which is also true. So Swadati Ashaye Snigde Sadhu Sangha Satovar. And Satovar means that you should be more advanced than you are. So if you steady and make good progress in Krishna consciousness and not be affected much by Maya. Sage named Astavakra Muni. And once he was invited to a meeting with Janak Maharaj, and Janak Maharaj asked him, they were outdoors, and Janak Maharaj asked him, how can I become free from the clutches of Maya? So Astavakra ran up to a tree and put his arms around the trunk and was holding on to the trunk and saying, let me go, let me go, let me go. And the idea is that Maya is not holding on to us, but we're holding on to Maya. So it's not a question of Maya letting go of us, but we have to let go of Maya. Hare Krishna. So we have reached the end of our time. Is that it? Yeah. So what next? Prasadam? All right. Thank you for your patient attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now you are free to honor Prasad.